The stigma is great, and I mean, even when I was talking about this, making this film, you know, a few years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago, and I was making it, and I would talk to people, and they'd say, "Oh, I'm working on this film, and this is what it's about." You know, people would just go, "Oh my God," you know, like, and these are quite progressive thinking people. So, you know, I think there's a lot of stigma, and it's not just one kind of stigma. There's like, you've got this kind of stereotype of like the fallen woman and the harlot, and then you've got the victim. And I think almost the victim sort of stigma is even worse, because now that they're sort of using it to sort of roll out these kind of really arcane policies that are actually making it really hard for sex workers to live their life like the rest of us. And so it's great, and I mean, I've learnt this through the process of making the film.
We have a thing at the moment where we want to be rescued from the rescuers, because there's this whole billion-dollar industry to rescue us, and quite frankly it's really hard for sex worker organisations to get any amount of funding. People seem to think it's okay to speak about sex workers, to lobby against good laws, which is decriminalisation, which is what we need, and it's really appalling. They really dehumanise us, and they really they take away our ability to think for ourselves and to speak honestly and openly about what we need. Australia has different states and territories, so in each state and territory there's a different legislative framework. So at a federal level, like with taxation level, the sex industry, sex work is seen as a legally recognised occupation, but how and where you operate in each state and territory is different. So in New South Wales, decriminalisation came into effect in 1995. It was supported by both sides of the major parties. It was bipartisan support, and it was done for two major reasons: to increase the health and safety of sex workers, our clients, and then obviously by default the general population. Decriminalisation is the only regulatory framework that works, because it removes the police from being the regulators. The levels of rape and assault and corruption around the world against sex workers that occur because of the police force is it's just abhorrent. Such high levels. You need to remove the police so that you get them to go back to their core activities, which is to protect the public. If the police still remain the primary regulators of the sex industry, then no one feels safe and secure to actually call the police. So I know many people across the world who, even though there's been a crime committed against them that has nothing to do with their working lives as a sex worker, they're too afraid to call the police, because what do the police ask? What's your name, where do you live, and what's your occupation? And if you're actually saying, well, you know, I'm a sex worker, then, you know, in some places in the world they'll lock you up and rape you.